Number one, put God first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. 40 years ago, March 27th, 1975, it was 40 years ago, just this past March, I was flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. They still call it beauty shop now? What they call it now? Yeah, I was sitting in the beauty parlor. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was, and I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil. I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975. She said, boy, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now, mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was going to do, and she's telling me I'm going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected. I've been directed. I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and has kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God. Number two, fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Sometimes it's just to not curse somebody out. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just one Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. Number 3, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses, some teachers. Yeah, okay. Some preachers. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is help someone else. Why is it selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. Not jewelry, not big house I have, not the cars, but it's the joy. That's where the joy is in helping others. That's where the success is. Finally, I pray that you put your slippers way under the bed tonight, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And while you're down there, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I'll say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference. Strength, leadership, power, authority, guidance, patience are God's gift to us as men.
All right, guys. So it is 9:12 a.m. Grand Rising, guys. We're going to start the call up in 3 minutes. So take the time to grab those pens, grab those papers, grab your books. Put yourself in a nice, comfortable position where we can read this book together. And we have a great 2 chapters ahead of us. So let everybody know that the call will go live in 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Spread that word, fam. Spread the word. Let's get it.
We have to cherish that, not abuse it. I prayed this morning to be a better listener. Didn't work so well. We're human. You get back up. Yes, I've been high up on the mountain. I've been blessed. But that's a slippery slope. Yeah. And it's lonely up there. You know, people don't know that side. We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. I'm a winner. I'm going to win. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. Aspire high.
Whatever industry you pick, if you outwork everybody, if you try to be a little smarter than everybody, if you try to be a better salesperson than everybody, if you try to be better prepared than everybody, you've got your best chance. Because if you don't do it and somebody else does, you know, I have the saying, work like someone's trying to take it all away from you. You know, work like someone's spending 24 hours, working 24 hours to take it all away from you. And that's kind of the way I look at it.
What would you say is the number one reason why people fail?
Lack of brains, lack of effort.
Lack of brains, lack of effort.
Yeah, they don't do the work. They don't learn, you know. When you walk in the room, when you start a business and you start to talk about somebody, you're never in a vacuum with no competition, you know, unless you're just extremely lucky. And if there's going to be competition, that means somebody else knows your business as well as you do when you get started. And if you walk into a competitive environment and they still know more about the business than you do and more about your customers, you're going to lose. But most people don't consider that. They don't do the work. They don't learn more about their industry. They don't know even about their business. I mean, and so you've got to put in the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. And that's the brains part, and that's the effort part as well. Because look, if you're competing with me, you better know what you're doing. Otherwise, I'm going to kick your ass, you know, and you're not going to outwork me. And so, you know, the combination is usually what kills businesses early on more than anything.
You could, within a 5-10 minute interview, say this dude's not going to make it as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, I can typically tell, right? I can tell by their passion. I can tell by their focus. I can tell by their preparation. You know, there's a whole realm of things in any business. Here, you know, here's the business you're in, and here's 1,000 things that influence whether or not you're going to be successful. You know, through my experience in businesses, I can put myself in his position and say, okay, here are 900 of the 1,000 things he has to be aware of, and then go through and ask. And by how many of those or her issues they've been able to address already, that kind of gives me a sense of how hard they're willing to work. You know, and I can tell by the questions they ask me. So all I have to do is say, okay, what do you want to know? And, you know, when they start saying, what should I do?
They ask you.
Yeah, you know, and that's fine, right? And I want them to ask questions, but, you know, people like to say, you know, the only stupid questions are the ones you don't ask, and that's not right? Because the questions you ask tell whoever more about you than anything else you do. Because in particular, it tells me about your preparation. If you ask me questions about just basic things that you should have known and you should have down to science, that's going to disqualify you almost more than anything. If you're not always learning, to this minute, if I'm not continuously learning, if I'm not just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick my ass, right? So you talk about paranoia. The greatest source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else knows more than you do, and if you're not learning, if you don't know if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you're SOL.
Do you think there needs to be a healthy level of paranoia?
Oh, absolutely.
There needs to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always say, you know, for every one of my businesses, I say, what would I do to kick my own ass? You right? So whatever business you have, there's somebody trying to put you out of business. There's somebody trying to take a bite out of your business. And it's better for you to figure out how they're going to do it rather than they do it. And so, yeah, that's being paranoid. And so you have to be paranoid. You have to anticipate other people's next moves. And you can't ever, you know, downplay the competition. I was at a business.
All right, here we go. Familia, Grand Rising. Hope everybody is having a blessed day. Can I get some big smiles in the chat box? Let me turn on my ring light right here really quick. Big smiles in the chat. Let's see who got some big smiles today. We are happy. We are excited. We are blessed. Everything works in our favor. Everything always works in our favor. Today is Christmas. We are so excited. We are so blessed to be here. I know I am. I know I'm so excited to be on this call. Every morning I'm happy. Every morning I'm excited. Every morning I'm just so filled with so much excitement and blessings because, every day, guess what? Like D. Kane said, I accept it, I believe it, I receive it. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go. I'm super, super excited for this family. I hope you guys woke up this morning. As a matter of fact, if you did your morning routine this morning, put a 7 in the chat box if you did your morning routine this morning, right? If you did your morning routine this morning, put a 7 in the chat box. I want to see who's actually been doing their morning routines, man. As you guys know, if you elevate your morning, you will elevate your lifestyle. If you elevate your morning, you will elevate your lifestyle. And, before we get the call started, guys, on today's reading, I learned something very powerful. All right. And I want you guys to actually do this because I already started doing it. I didn't get to finish all the questions, but I put it in the chat, in the Nanos Keys to Success chat. And I also put it on my Instagram in my story if you haven't. But there was a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. 7 questions that I want you guys to ask yourselves during your journal session, either today or tomorrow. All right. Like, I want you guys to consider it an assignment from me to you. All right. Do that assignment right there because, man, I did a few of the questions already and just answering them brought so much clarity to my life. It brought so much, just peace and love into my heart because those 7 questions are so powerful. Right. So I highly recommend you guys if you haven't answered the questions yet, please do. They're on my story and they're in the Nanos Keys to Success chat as well. All right. So, I'll just name them really quick off the top. I'm not gonna, go through them because we have a lesson we got to do here today. But they were good 7 questions that have to do with God and your faith in Him in as well. Right. So question number 1 was, what has God taught me from failure? Right. Number 2 was, what has God taught me from a lack of money? Number 3 was, what has God taught me from pain or sorrow or depression? Number 4 was, what has God taught me through waiting? Number 5 was, what has God taught me through illness? Number 6 was, what has God taught me from disappointment? And number 7 was, what have I learned from my family, my church, my relationships, my small groups, or my critics? Those 7 questions are extremely, extremely powerful. I know that we can all get so much value from those questions, and it kind of gives you a journal entry that you can do, right? It can kind of just give you a journal entry that you can do either today or tomorrow if you haven't journaled. And if you have journaled, great, do it tomorrow. If you want to add an extra journal entry, do it because I know how powerful those 7 questions can be. I already know how powerful they've been for me answering some of them already. And I know what it can do for you guys. So remember, I would never tell you guys to do something that I haven't done. Okay, so I highly recommend you guys to do so. If you don't know where to find them, they are on my story and they are also in the Nanos Keys to Success chat. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is at LongLiveNano. All right, guys, great 7 question. Maybe we'll cover them at some point, maybe in May or some sort. But we got to get to our book, all right? But before we do that, let's also practice some gratitude. Can we get some gratitude in the chat box? What is one thing that you are grateful for? I am grateful for God. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my mom, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughter, Dadiana. I'm extremely, extremely grateful for Katie, my baby Hazel, right, Hazel? Right? I'm extremely grateful for my team, the leaders within my organization, Leadership Dynasty, the Academy, everyone that's on my team. I'm extremely grateful for you guys. I'm extremely grateful for my mentors, Matt Rosa, Matt Gribby, Jason Brown, Darwin Lopez, Alex Morton. Grateful for my brother Chele on the call. Day one brother, my right hand. Extremely grateful for the opportunity to make money in the crypto markets, NFTs, for successful investments. I'm grateful for the challenges. I'm grateful for the ups, the downs, the wisdom that we get on a day-to-day basis, my healthy mind, my healthy body, my healthy immune system, my healthy respiratory system. You know, we have so many systems in our body. Think about that. We have an immune system. We have a respiratory system. We have a circulatory system. We have, who knows, so many other systems, right? Digestive system. Okay. We got to be grateful for all of that. Think about that, guys. There's people that don't have healthy digestive systems. There's people that don't have healthy, respiratory systems. We have a nervous system. Okay. So we have so many systems that, keep our body, going, reproductive system, right? There's so many systems, right? Be grateful for the systems within your body. All right, because that is super important. Don't forget the small things, right? Don't forget the small and little things as well. All right, fam. So super grateful for that. All right, so let's get started with today's lesson. All right, today we are on chapter 12. Okay, Samuel, my morning is going phenomenal, bro. I am so thankful. My morning is going really well. I'm excited to jump into today's lesson. Two of my favorite chapters in the whole book, right? Everybody's listing systems, right? I forgot about our skeletal system, right? This is hilarious, but it's the truth, though. Remember, it is the truth. You got to be grateful for these things. Okay, got to be grateful. All right. So today we are on chapter 12. For those who are jumping on for the first time, we are reading the book, The Power of Awareness. We've dedicated the whole month of April to awareness. Okay, we understand that April is for awareness. And the more we increase our awareness, the more income we make, the more connected we become, the more we can do, right? Your level of awareness will determine your income. Okay, so let's get this call started. We are on chapter 12, page 48, subjective control. Now, before I tell you guys and we go into this book, all right, into this chapter, I want you guys to understand something, all right? Because you got to know this, all right? This is mad important, all right? Let me actually go IG live with it because I want everybody on IG live to hear this as well. I need the phone charger too, please. So let me go IG live with this because I want everybody on IG live to also get the value from what it is that I'm going to share right now. Because a lot of people don't know this, but I know this because I know people close to Bob. Okay, so today we are doing Power of Awareness, chapter 12 and 13. Okay, perfect. There we go. Amazing. So something a lot of people don't know is that this was Bob Proctor's favorite book right before he passed. Okay, this was the book that Bob was reading before he passed away. Like literally, I'm telling you guys right now, I will never tell you guys something that I am not 100% sure of. This is one of the books that he was reading before he passed, right? And God rest his soul. And he basically, what he would call this book, he would call it the modern day Think and Grow Rich. All right. That's what this book was to him. This was the modern day Think and Grow Rich. Now, this specific chapter, as you guys know, my mentor, his name is Matt Gribby. Okay. And Matt Gribby knew Bob Proctor on a personal level. He was his photographer for years and years and years. And what he told me was that this specific chapter, chapter 12, he read it every day for 90 days. Every day. The way he was describing it to me, he was like, bro, Bob Proctor would take one sentence and read it over, just one sentence, and digest the one sentence to the T, until he understood, he knows this. Like when I asked Matt Gribby, Matt Gribby, can you tell me what chapter 12 is? Like, what is chapter 12? And he could read, he can basically, it's like a song to him. He knows the whole thing, he knows this whole chapter off the top of his head. I could be like, Gribby, what is chapter 12, power of awareness? And he'll go, yo, your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention, all progress, all fulfillment. And he could recite it perfectly. And that's when I knew that I was like, man, I need to know this information a lot deeper. It's just something that we haven't read enough, but he can recite it to the T. To the T, like just exactly how I told you, he could do. I'd be like, yo, Gribby, what's chapter 12, power of awareness? Subjective control. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend on the control of, yo, it's so dope the way he does it. He says it like that, boom, 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 boom. And that's when I knew that I had to do the same, guys. So there's a reason why Bob Proctor read this specific chapter as much as he did. And it's so dope that it's chapter 12 is 2-1 backwards. All right. So we're going to read this chapter right here. It's a short chapter, but it's one of the most powerful chapters in the whole book. All right. So let's get right into it. All right. So chapter 12, subjective control. All right. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. Okay. All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and concentration of your attention. Attention may be either attracted from without or directed from within. Attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. The very lines of this page are attracting your attention from without. Your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. It is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted by, It is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted by, but is constantly directed to external impressions. But your control in the subjective state is almost non-existent. For in this state, attention is usually the servant, not the master, the passenger, not the navigator of your world. There is an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively. And the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. When you are able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you can modify or alter your life as you please. But this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. Each day, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and of focusing it subjectively. In other words, concentrate those thoughts or moods which you deliberately determine, okay? Then those things that now restrict you will fade and drop away. The day you achieve control of the movements of attention in the subjective world, you are the master of your fate. You will no longer accept the dominance of outside conditions or circumstances. You will not accept life on the basis of the world without. Having achieved control of the movements of your attention and having discovered the mystery hid from the ages, that Christ in you is your imagination, and you will assert the supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to it. That is chapter 12. Now we're going to cover it and we're going to go over some stuff that he said. All right. But notice how short but powerful, but there is so much messages in between the lines that are being shared right there. There's so many messages being shared right there. Now, in order for us to understand this, all right, understand let's understand a little bit of more of what subjective is, okay? Because I'm sure there's people on this call that are wondering, Nano, what is subjective? All right. Now, subjective, if we look at the definition of subjective, okay, listen to this. All right. Subjective, it says, is based on or influenced by personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. All right. But let's look at something else. Maybe it has a different definition when it comes to psychology. Taking place or only existing within the mind. All I know is that I know subjective control has to do with your subconscious mind, for sure. All right. And it has to do with everything that we talk about, which is the feelings. Okay. This is the key, right? Because remember what we talk about. All right. Remember what we talk about. Appreciate you, legendary. Right. Remember what we talk about. The conscious mind is what? The thinking mind. All right. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. All right. Whatever ideas are impressed into your subconscious mind will determine the reality that you live. And everything is impressed in your subconscious mind through one thing. All right. What is the key to the subconscious mind? Let's see who knows. What is the key to get into your subconscious mind? Who knows the answer? What is the keys to get into the subconscious mind? Not repetition, not routine, not imagination. There you go, Q. Q got it. Emotions. Emotions, the feeling. Okay. Your feelings are the key into your subconscious mind, because remember, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or what's fake. It only knows what you feel. Okay. It's the feeling that's the key into your subconscious mind. Okay, you got to understand this concept before I can break this down on a more different level. Okay, now I know you guys are saying repetition, auto suggestion. Yes, those are ways to improve your subconscious mind. But the way to get into your subconscious mind is through the feelings. Okay, because remember, right now, my mind, when I was back at home, okay, remember when I was back in New York, and I'm always going to mention this because I want you guys to understand, when I was back living in Washington Heights, okay, my mind didn't know what was real or what was fake. Okay, it would only know the feelings that I had. So when I would go into my imagination and I would feel myself to be where I'm at today, when I would feel myself to be in that penthouse, seeing myself as that six-figure earner, seeing myself as that successful entrepreneur traveling the world, my mind, my subconscious mind took that idea and impressed it and put situations and circumstances into my life to make that a reality. Okay. But if I would have allowed what he's talking about, the objective, the conscious, what I was seeing to control my feelings, then guess what? Those feelings of sadness, those feelings of depression, those feelings, you know what that would have done? Then those would have been impressed into my subconscious mind. All right. And then that impression into my subconscious mind would have created more situations, more circumstances, and more people and more everything to continue to live that reality. This is important that you guys understand. It might take some time for you guys to get this, but let's reread it one more time from the top. Listen to it. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. Okay? Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. What are you giving your attention to? All right? What are you giving majority of your attention to? This is the key. This is the whole key. This chapter right here explains so much about the sauce on how we can get ourselves out of any situation that we are in our current lifestyle right now. Understanding this chapter could change your life forever. Seriously, I promise you that. If you can understand and you can internalize the message in this chapter, as short as it is, it could change your life. Think about how crazy that is. If you master what is said on this chapter right here, you could change your whole life. You don't need to read another book. Just understanding subjective control, right? Because listen, your imagination is able to do all that you ask in the proportion of your attention. So yesterday, I went to walk Hazel, and then I walked to the Porsche Tower, and I sat. There's a little section in the Porsche Tower where you can actually sit, okay? And I sat there, and I literally sat there and imagined myself. And for those who are wondering what the Porsche Tower is, you know, a very luxurious and legendary, you know, oceanfront condo tower here that, you know, you can have your car in your living room. It's phenomenal, right? And these are one of the things that I want in life. This is one of my desires, okay? So usually what I do is I go sit over there, and I sit there in imagination, and I imagine myself that I'm already living there, that this is my reality. I am so thankful for it. You know, I just sit there in the imagination of it, okay? So your imagination is able to do all that you ask in the proportion to the degree of your attention. Now listen to this. All progress, right? All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and concentration of your attention, okay? So think about that. If you want to fulfill your desire, what is your desire? The desire is to become financially free. Your desire is to retire your family. Your desire could be to, you know, hit a rank in your company. Your desire could be to travel the world. All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and concentration of your attention. So what are you giving your attention to? Okay, it's very important that you guys understand that. It's important that you guys understand that. It's what are you giving your attention to? What is your focus? Your focus is everything, right? One of the biggest lessons that Matt Gribby ever taught me, he said this. He said, Nano, any thought or any action that you have that does not give power to your goals is a distraction. Think about that. Any thought and any action that you take that does not give power to your goals is a distraction. And then you know what he asked me? He said, Nano, how distracted are you, bro? And I'll never forget that day because of how he made me feel. It wasn't what he said. What he said was powerful. It was how he made me feel at that very moment. It was how he made me feel at that very moment. You know why? Because I was very distracted. Think about it one more time. Let's repeat it one more time, Nano. Every thought, think about this. Every thought or every action you take, think about all the thoughts that you have on a day-to-day basis. Think about the actions that you're taking every single day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. Every thought, every action that you have that does not give power to your goals is a distraction. When he told me that, I was like, yo, man. And then he asked me the question. He said, Nano, how distracted are you, bro? Ask yourself that question. And I ask you guys the same question here on this call today. How distracted are you? How distracted is everybody on this call right now? Let's be real. Are your thoughts in alignment with your desires? Are the actions that you're taking every day with your desires? This is what's holding you back, fam. It's not your parents. It's not your lack of money, family. It's not the company that you're in. It's your attention. You're distracted. I'd be lying to you guys if I told you guys that I'm 100% focused. I'd be lying to you guys if I told you guys, yeah, Nano, yeah, bro, me, Nano, every thought that I have and every action that I take is in alignment with my desires. No. Am I a lot more aligned than I used to be? Absolutely, yes. Do I have a lot more thoughts and my attention is directed more towards those things? Yes. Are the actions that I take on a day-to-day basis in alignment with the desires and the fulfillment of it? Yes. But I'm still not 100% all there. Because if I was, I would already have it. Think about it. Now, let's go back. Let's continue. Attention may be either attracted from without or directed from within. Attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. This whole chapter needs to be highlighted, which is kind of crazy. He said attention may be either attracted from without. What does he mean from without? From the outside circumstances. What is happening on the outside of your life? What is happening in the world? What is happening in the news? What does your bank account look like? What does your business look like? What is your relationship like, right? Look, your attention may be either attracted from without or directed from within. Okay, because remember, when it's from within, it can be created from your imagination, from what you're thinking. Okay, attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. A lot of us, this is what is happening to us right here. This specific sentence right there is what's happening to many of us on this call. Attention is attracted from without. Listen to this. Attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. That was my problem when I was back living in New York City. My attention was focused on the external, me living in the hood, my lack of finances, the lack of people believing in me, okay, my everything, all of those things, relationships, business, everything. My attention was focused on that. I would give all my attention to my lack of finances. I would give all my attention to my lack of growth in my business. I would give all my attention to the news. I would give all my attention to the fact that my friends and my family wouldn't believe in me. That's where my attention was. Who in here understands where I'm coming from? Put a 1 in the chat box if you guys understand where it is that I'm coming from with this, because I'm going to help you guys understand this on a very deeper level than you guys have ever understood things, okay? Because I've lived what he's talking about. I've lived this. I really remember, guys, this was the book that changed my life. This was the book that got me out of the hood. I promise you. This book right here. This was the book. I can't tell you. There's so many other books that I read, but if there was one book that gave me the final switch, if there was one book that gave me the final realization, it was this one right here. Because of chapters like this one. All right. So attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. The very lines of this page are attracting your attention from without. So that's what he's saying right now. As we're reading this and you guys are following along with me, your attention is from without, okay? Because we're seeing it from here, there, okay? It's what we see. Our bank accounts is from without. When we look at our bank accounts and we're not happy with it, is from without. When we look at our living situation, when I was walking outside in my neighborhood and there was drugs being sold on every corner, homeless people sleeping on the corners, this and this and that, that was my attention from without. Okay? We all together in this, guys. I don't want you guys to think that I'm better than you. I don't want you guys to think that, no, I was the example. And now I'm basically, remember, this is what I've always learned. You can't help people by sitting at the finish line and telling them to come. You know what you do? I walk back and you hold people's hands and walk along with them. What I'm doing right now with you guys is like, yo, look, guys, I know how to get there. All right. But I don't want to get there by myself. I already got there. I did it low key. Nothing is done on your own. I did it with me and God. I did it on my own low key because I was doing it by myself. But I said, you know what? It's no fun because I was over there dolo. I was over there by myself. I had God by my side. Absolutely. Yes, God was there, but he's there with me in the spiritual. I was like, yo, I need to help my family. I need to help my team. I need to help my friends. Let me go back because I already know how to break the curses. I already know how to create the generational wealth. All right. But now I need to go back and help as many more people as I can before I continue to go forward. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm walking with you guys. All you got to do is trust me. You just got to trust me. Trust me that I'm guiding you guys in the right direction. All right. I know what you guys desire. I know what it is that some of us want. I know how we can get there. You just got to trust me and apply what I'm telling you. Okay. Listen to this. If I tell you to reread this, reread it. If I tell you to buy the book, buy the book. If I tell you that this is something that changed my life, believe me. I'm never the type of person to fold. I will never quit. I know that my purpose is bigger than any company or anything. This is bigger than us, what we're doing here. Okay. I want y'all to know that we are real family. A real family, not just a fake family. How there's a bunch of people out there that claim that they're family, and then the moment things get hard, they leave. No, we are a real family in here. All right, guys. So let's continue because this is going to get deeper. I don't even know if we're going to be able to do chapter 13 because we really got to tap deep into chapter 12. Okay. Your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. That's the key. That's the key. Listen to that one. Your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. All right. That's why they say, that's why at the time, I always had my gold card in my pocket. At the time, you know what I also had? I had a gratitude rock as well. I had a gratitude rock. So every day when I went to the park, I would always, you can ask Shelley, he's on this call. I would always grab a rock from the park, any rock, any nice looking rock. I would grab it, put it in my pocket. And the purpose of me putting it in my pocket was so that every time I reached into my pocket for my phone, for my wallet, for my keys, and I felt the rock, right away, my mind was programmed, okay, to think about my goals, to think about being grateful for the things that were coming for me. Yeah, you know, Marissa, the magic rock, right? So I would put the rock in my pocket, and then I started to switch it up. Then I started to put like crystal stones. You know, for people who know about crystals, I would put I forgot the name of this green crystal. Forgot it. I just had it in the tip of my tongue. Specific green crystal. There's a specific name I'm looking for. Not jade. Aventurine. There it goes. Smile, love, succeed. There she goes. Aventurine, right? I had an aventurine, and aventurine is used to manifest. It's used for that green aventurine. Yep. You guys, that's why I love my family, man. You guys are awesome, right? But I had this thing, and the reason why I had it is because I remember Bob Proctor, right? Bob Proctor, and if you look at his videos, he has a big sphere of an aventurine. Like it is such an abundant stone, right? And he had it. And look, guys, I'm not the type of person to give power to other things. I know that all the power comes from God. Okay, trust me, that I know. But it's a good reminder. It's a good thing to have as a reminder. It's not good to give external things power. All the power comes from within. Everything you need comes from God. But having that, having that physical and objective thing right there, right, it is a good reminder of it. Okay, and I want you guys to understand that. All right, so I don't want anybody to think that. But I remember doing that, and I would put it in my pocket, and every time I would reach in there, all right, every time I would reach in there, guess what? Boom. Grateful for my goals. I'm grateful that I'm a six-figure earner. I'm grateful that I have hundreds and thousands of dollars in my bank account. And it was just a quick reminder, because remember, listen to it. Your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. Now, the reason why I had to do those things is because when you're struggling financially, guys, you guys all know what I'm about to tell you guys. When you're struggling financially, it's so hard not to think about it because of all the problems, all the bills, all the things you got to take care of. Some of us got kids, some of us got bills coming up. You don't want to lose your rent. There's just so much, and it's so hard not to not think about it. Okay? We all agree, right? We all agree 100%. Nano, I know it's hard. Trust me. I know how hard it is to not think about, because all you do is it's like a constant thought. Dude, from the moment you wake up, you're thinking about it when you wake up, you're thinking about it when you're eating, you're thinking about it when you're hanging out with friends, you're thinking about it, you're talking about it with your friends. It's all day. It's all day. When you're struggling financially, dude, that's one of the hardest things to get out of. Because think about that. That's what your mind is preoccupied with. So you talk about it, you think about it. You're before you go to bed, you think about it. You're stressed out about it, dude. You're even thinking and think about that, guys. How does that make you feel? When you think about those things, how does that make you feel? Let's be honest. It makes you feel terrible. It makes you feel down. You get filled with fear, doubt, insecurity. Okay, you get stressed. You feel horrible. You feel depressed, weighed down. You don't even want to do anything. You don't want to work, because remember, that's how it works. Why you think so many of our people are stuck? It's not because they want to be stuck. You think it's because they want to be? I know people personally that are stuck, but it's not because they want to be stuck. It's because they've thought about those situations so many times, and they've impressed that situation in their subconscious mind so many times that it's already impressed in there, that even if they don't want to, it naturally comes. Even if you don't want to, it already comes, because it's been impressed in your subconscious. And your subconscious creates 90% of what you think and what your reality is. They've almost dug themselves into a hole that they can't get out of. I know that feeling. I've been there before. I dug myself into such a deep hole that it took me 2 years to get out of it. So when people tell me, Nano, you don't know what it's like, bro, I do know what it's like. I do know what it's like. Dude, I just started seeing real success about a year ago. I just started seeing real money about a year ago. All of our friends and all of our families, you know why they're stuck? Because they are struggling financially. And what this book is saying right here is everything. It's everything. So what this book is doing for you guys right now, it's increasing your awareness. I'm increasing your awareness now. I'm telling you, like, yo, look, fam, if you didn't know, you're kind of digging yourself into a hole, right? It's time to do what? We just read a chapter yesterday. What do we need to do in order for us to change this around? We read the chapter yesterday. We have to interfere. Interference. We need to come in. We need to step in and stop it. Instead of digging ourselves into a deeper hole, okay, we need to start building the ladder to get us out of this. This is the key. So think about this, guys. When I started this, say, for example, you start at a surface level, right? Consider this journal surface level. I dug myself, and remember, I want to go up here. Success is up here. So this is me at the surface level. Success is over here. What's the funny part is that before I got up here, I dug myself down here. So think about that. This is the surface level. I dug myself into a hole down here. So guess what? It took me almost a year and a half to get back to the surface level. And then once I got back to the surface level, it took me another year and a half to get to where I've wanted to get to the six-figure level. That's the facts. That's the true facts. Anybody can tell you that knows me personally can tell you that that's how it worked. That's how it works. So you need to change. You gotta change what you are giving your attention to. Like I said, guys, I know it's hard not to focus on the fact that your business isn't growing, that things aren't going your way, that your bank account might not be the way that you want it to right now. I know it's tough. I know because I have been there before. Remember, guys, I never worked a job. I didn't have a job. I don't know what a job is. I've never clocked in for a job. I've never filled out a W-9. I think that's what it's called, right? I've never done that before. My first business was network marketing. And you know what? The only thing I ever, a W-2. That's how you know. That's how you know, right? That's how you know how true it is, right? You mean a W-2, right? That's how you know how true it is, right? And nothing against anybody that works a job. Look, my mom works job, my friends work job, family members, nothing against it. I just never did it, okay? I literally, once my baseball career finished, once school finished, I went right into network marketing, I just had W-9, shaking my head, right? But what I want you guys to understand is that I didn't have much when I started. That's what I'm trying to, to portray here. I always tell people jobs are not a bad thing. Okay. I say jobs are a great place to start. They're just not a good place to stay. Okay. They're not a good place to stay. Find your passion. Find something that you're passionate about and dedicate your life to it. Okay. But you got to remember this. Now, look, let's continue. It is obvious. All right. We're going into the next sentence, right? It is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted, but is constantly directed to external impressions. All right. So the objective world is the world that we see. This is the objective world. You looking at me from a screen on your phone, on your laptop, that's objective. That's what you're seeing. Okay. So he says that it is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted by, but is constantly directed to external impressions. But your control in the subjective state is almost non-existent. For in this state, attention is usually the servant, not the master. That's important that you guys understand that specific sentence right there. For in this state, attention is usually the servant, not the master. What do we mean by that? Not is the servant, not the master. Every time I close my eyes and I imagine myself where I want to be in the subjective world, I am serving that image. I am serving that image. Every day I am serving that image. All right? Look at what it says. The servant, not the master, not the master. The passenger, not the navigator of your world. Because remember, at the end of the day, the one who's holding the wheel is God. He's the one in control. Okay, he's the master. He's the navigator. That's what I need you guys to understand right here. That's why you can't take hold of the wheel. You're riding shotgun. You understand what I'm saying? Right? You're not the master. You're the servant. right? What is it? What is it? The service to many leads to greatness. What is our purpose on earth? To serve. That is our purpose on earth, is to serve. So when we imagine we are serving the image that we want to accomplish, we are the passenger, not the navigator. He said there is an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively. The capacity to change your future depends on the latter. All right. Let me look up latter really quick. Latter definition: situated or occurring nearer to the end of something than to the beginning. So the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. All right. Basically, beginning with the end in mind. The end in mind. We are at the top of page 49. Page 49 at the top. That first sentence. So there's an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively. And the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. Is your future is dependent on you focusing on the end in mind. Where do you want to go? That's where your attention needs to be. Everything starts with the end in mind. Okay? When you are able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you can modify or alter your life as you please. So every day, sitting there in visualization, in meditation, in just focus of where you want to go, you can change and you can modify and alter your life as you please. All right. But this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. So this is the problem right here. Most of us have not been able to achieve this control because we've allowed the attention of the outside world to control us. That's what he's saying right there. He says, but this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. So if you're constantly letting the outside circumstances affect you, then you'll never be able to take control of your subjective world. Never. Because you're giving more attention to the outside than the inside. And we can all be super honest right here. The results tell the story. We can all be honest. We've all been giving more of our attention to the outside than the inside. Guys, think about it, bro. It's about to be May. We're about to hit the 5th month of the year. We're about to be halfway done through the year, and it just feels like the other day it was January. Think about how fast everything is happening, guys. Pay attention. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. It's flying. Time is going. Okay. Each day, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing on it subjectively. Each day, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing on it subjectively. What did he say? Each day. What does that mean? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every day, 7 days a week, 30 to 31 days a month. Every day, every day, every day, every day, each day. Each day. Set yourself a task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing on the subjective, the imagination of what you want. How many of you guys are doing it every day? To be honest, how many of you guys are doing this 7 days a week? If you're not doing it 7 days a week, then how do you plan on changing your situation? But the thing is, remember, guys, you want to change your situation, but you're not doing it every day. I know people that eat every day. I know people that brush their teeth every day. I know people that smoke weed every day. I know people that shower every day. But you don't have 15 minutes a day to sit down and focus on the end in mind. Focus on the things that you want. But you want to change your situation. Your priorities have to change, guys. They have to change immediately. They got to change. They have to change immediately. Today. Make a commitment that if you haven't been doing this every day, to do it every day. Because look at how fast 4 months have already passed. Look at it. Look at how fast it has already passed. Look at it. It'll continue to pass this fast. Next thing you know, it'll be a year, 2 years, and you're still in the same situation because you didn't take the time to apply that one simple thing right there. Every day. Every day. You should, if you come into my house, I have on my TV, it's literally on. Yesterday it was on all day. You know what it was doing? Dream building the whole day. We were looking at penthouses. We were looking at luxury, success, abundance. At all times, there's Bob Proctor playing. There's Jim Rohn playing. There's always something going on. All right? Always, always, always something going on. All right? Always at all times. So important. Very, very important. Okay? You got to understand this stuff. Right? Super key. Let me make sure I delete this right here. Let me report it. Okay, great. So we got to understand this stuff. All right. So read it one more time. Each day, all right, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing on it subjectively. In other words, concentrate those thoughts or mood which you deliberately determine. Facts. The thoughts and the moods, all right, is the thoughts and the moods. That's the key, okay? Then those things that now restrict you will fade and drop away. So when you start to do those things, all right, those things will start to fall apart. All those old things, all right, all those old thoughts, all those old feelings, all of that stuff will start to fade and die out. The day you achieve control of the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you are a master of your fate. You will no longer accept the dominance of outside conditions or circumstances. You will not accept life on the basis of the world without. Having achieved control of the movements of your attention and having discovered the mystery hid from the ages, that Christ in you is your imagination, you will assert the supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to it. This is the key right here, guys. This is everything. This is everything that you need to know. You got to master the objective world and you got to get out of this stuff. Every day. You got to change it. I basically highlighted the whole chapter basically too. This is so important. And you know why this book hits a little bit different for me now? The reason why this book hits a little bit different for me now is because I've grown a closer relationship with God. So everything hits me a little bit more deeper than it did before. I didn't have as close as a relationship with God as I have now in the past. But when even reading that last sentence right now, that Christ in you is your imagination, and you will assert the supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to it. This is it. Understanding this chapter will change your life forever, fam, for real. It'll change everything for you guys. I promise. Allow it to change you. Allow it to impact you. Read it again. Read it over and over and over and over again. Trust me, this is the real key right here. When you are able to impress enough ideas and feelings to your subconscious mind, okay, then those ideas will then become reality. This has been everything for me. If you see the last paragraph, look at what it says, right? He said, you will no longer accept the dominance of outside conditions or circumstances. What he's saying there is that, guys, if you think about it, the outside circumstances that you live, they're dominating you. They're dominating our people. Take a look around. Take a look at your best friends. Take a look at some of the people that you know. Take a look at this stuff. They are being dominated. All right? They are being dominated by what? Their outside conditions and circumstances. That's what's going on. You will not accept life on the basis of the world without. We can't let what's happening on the outside control us. I don't care. I don't care how much debt you're in, how much problems, all of that stuff. You remember, you can create the opposite scenario. You can create the opposite scenario, family. You can do it. You can. This is the key. I'm telling you guys. I promise you. Like, as long as we can all understand this stuff, like, it'll change everything for you. I promise. It will. Let me I don't know why all these people are trying to come in here. That's how you know that when you're spreading a powerful message, guess what happens? This is what happens right here, guys. People try to spam the chats. Weirdos. But we pray for them, though. Pray for them. We just pray for them. Send them love and hope that, one day they can heal from whatever it is that they're going. But God's in control. I don't give none of that my attention. I reject it. I don't even. But just realize that when a powerful message is being spread, you're going to be attacked. You will be attacked. Pay attention. Think about, for those that know the story and who were on the call on Monday, I think it was, when I did the call. And I told you guys about my experience, before I went out to Barcelona. Think about how much the devil tried to attack me. He tried everything in his power to make sure that I didn't make it out there. He tried everything. But God won. If I didn't have that relationship with my Father, maybe that stuff doesn't happen for me. That's how it works, guys. Because remember, I'm an enemy now. I'm a threat to his objective, to the mission of that entity. I'm a threat. He wants to be in control of your minds. He wants to install fear. He don't want me, right, to share these messages with you guys. He don't want you guys to know this stuff, because then he won't have control over you. There's stuff that I can really get deeper into that you guys will be like, man, this is crazy stuff. But I want you guys to understand that, all right? So we're not going to be able to do chapter 13 today. I'm going to just put it was chapter 12. I think that dedicating the whole day to chapter 12 was important. I want to be able to give, some good time to chapter 13 and 14 tomorrow. We'll do 2 tomorrow for sure. All right. We already got 4 by the end of the week. If we do 13 and 14 tomorrow, we could do 15 and 16 on Thursday, 17, 18 on Friday. There's a total of how many chapters in the Power of Awareness? Oh, it doesn't even tell me. Oh, yeah, it does. We do 18. Yeah, we should be done with it by the end of the week, by the end of the month. And we're on pace to finish it by the end of the month. But guys, really, really tap into this information, fam, for real. This information is second to none. There's nothing out there like this. Guarantee you it. I guarantee you it. There's nothing out there like the information that I've been sharing with you guys on this call. Love you, Nenito. Appreciate you. Love you more. But guys, really read this. Like, I challenge all of us to, let's memorize this chapter. Just like Bob Proctor did it. If he did it, why not us do it? If he did it, why not us do it? The name of the book is called The Power of Awareness. That's the name of the book. We are on we just finished chapter 12. If you can sit down and truly grasp and understand that one chapter, like I said, it'll change everything. And remember, guys, everything that we've read up until this point, it leads all up into that. Living in the feeling of what? The wish fulfilled. When you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you get subjective control of your imagination. I'm telling you guys, 6 months from now, a year from now, people are going to come up to us and they're going to come up to me and they're going to be like, bro, because of that book, my whole life changed. I'm making 6 figures now. I retired my family. I work from home. My whole life has changed. Everything has changed. Everything has changed for us. So that wraps up today's call, guys. Put some 12s in the chat box, right? If you got some value from that, right? Because 1 and 2 also add to 3, which is awesome, which is my angel number. And 12 is also 21 backwards, which is amazing. This is the way we're going to change our reality right here, guys. These are the real secrets that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know this stuff. But remember, to know and to not do is to not know at all. So now you know this. Now you've become aware of this. But if you don't do it every day, this should be a main, you should have 15 minutes every single day out of your day to do this. I do it. Yesterday I did it twice. I actually do it more than that because there's times that I'm just sitting around and I'm just sitting there and imagining stuff. I do it multiple times throughout my day. But what I thought about, I'm like, I need to do this. I need to do this more. Now that I've been reading this book, it's kind of like gave me more ideas. Like, I need to be doing this more every day. All right, fam. So thank you guys so much for hopping on today's call. I appreciate you guys very, very much. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up today's call. I'm going to do a quick prayer for us. If you haven't liked this video, like the video, family. Please, please, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. I haven't been saying to subscribe and like the video. you guys don't have to pay me anything. Just like the video, show love in the comments, and share it with others, let others hear what it is that we got going on here. All right, so quick prayer and we'll go. All right. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with another beautiful day that's filled with your blessings, filled with your abundance and your grace. Because you woke us up today, we know that you are not done working on us. And, we are just so thankful for all the lessons that you continuing to teach us each and every single day. We are understanding, what it is that we got to do step by step now in order for us to get ourselves out of the situations that we're in and put ourselves in a situation where we can impact others and we can be an example for others. Because the only way that we can change the world is by changing us, because we got to be the change that we want to see in the world. But we got to be the ones that go out there and apply this information and take control of our imagination and not allow the outside circumstances to affect our peace, Father. So if there's anyone out there on this call that is listening to this prayer that is allowing the outside circumstances to affect their peace, Father God, I pray that you allow them to not only reject all the outside circumstances, but to start looking more within, to start looking more closer to you. And let's get those individuals closer to you, because we know that with you, everything is possible. We know that with you, everything that we want will become a reality, Father. But in order for us to do so, we need to focus more of our attention on you and less of our attention on what's happening on the outside, God. So we are just so extremely thankful for the lessons that you're teaching us every day, for increasing our awareness of the information and of the things that we got to do in order for us to become a better version of ourselves, better leaders, better sons, better daughters, better fathers, better husbands, better everything. And we are just so, so thankful for you, God. So continue to bless us, continue to guide us, continue to give us the wisdom that we need in order for us to become the better version of ourselves. We will continue to serve, we will continue to spread the word, and we will continue to make sure that we become the better versions of us, God. So we love you so much and we appreciate you so much. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, 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 family. So with that being said, that wraps up today's call. That was a fire prayer right there. I actually really, really like that prayer. That prayer was kind of dope. And it's so dope that I can improvise those prayers the way that I do. But I can't take any other credit for it. I give all the credit to God, fam. So I love you guys so much. I hope you guys all have a blessed rest of your day. Do your best to really apply this information. I challenge you throughout the day to stop and visualize and stop and focus on your goals and focus on the subjective control at least 3 times throughout the day. Do it at lunchtime, do it after dinner, and do it right before you go to bed. All right. I am so happy and grateful for all of you guys. Jessica said, estoy tan feliz y agradecida. Yes, facts. All right. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Go out there and do something you've never done today so you can get things that you've never had. God bless. And I'll see you guys at 9 a.m. tomorrow for another episode of Mornings with Nano. Tomorrow we will be doing chapter 13 and 14. Let's get it, fam.